If you are watching this video, it tells me that you are on this side of the internet because you're looking to make your marketing efforts work for you instead of against you. Well, in this masterclass, we do exactly just that. If you are familiar with the lead magnet, lead generation framework, this video is going to help you to do just that. And it is going to help you to generate more customers for your business. A lot of you probably are marketing already, but you may be doing marketing all in one as opposed to doing it in different steps and having different measurables for each different step. So if any of those things excite you, this video is going to be one of the best, most practical marketing trainings that you will find on the internet on this subject, because we hold nothing back, show you exactly how to do it. And I'm very proud to share this video with you guys. Thank you. Reward the early birds. The people that show up on time should get rewarded. I absolutely believe that. So as we have some more people roll on into the room, can you guys let me know what is the most important thing for you to get out of tonight? Selfishly, I don't want you to give me the politically correct answer. What it is that you want to get out of tonight. That way I can ensure that as I'm going through everything to align with you. So you can unmute your mic and we can start with whoever wants to go first.
Hello, how you guys doing today? My name is Jiggy. I'll just take initiative to start by what I'm looking for particularly is some alternative marketing strategies that are like sort of out the box that I couldn't think of or come up with myself with my own like perspectives on marketing and advertising and things. So I'm really looking just to hear everyone's inside experience and just kind of culminate from all the insight from everyone, like a different alternative marketing approach than some of the approaches I've been taking recently and in my past.
Okay, I'm Jiggy. What business are you in?
So I'm a cannabis applicant in New York State right now. So I'm pretty much branding. So I'm just focusing on like helping other brands with licensing, with like consulting work as far as the regulations, just the process of the license application. But as far as day to day, like I have cannabis based accessories and things of that nature. So I'm really just focusing on just branding and getting my brand out there. So really just trying to get the brand notoriety and recognition within the state.
Okay, for sure. And now what have you been doing to market your business so far?
So I have my Instagram page for my brand. So I really just been putting a lot of cannabis information just as far as like just things about the strands, the grow process, just like more medicinal kind of education. So I'm focusing more on like educating people on
Oh,
the actual benefits and the features of cannabis as a plant and as plant medicine, along with consulting with small brands like myself that come from the traditional market and assist them with how to transition over to the
okay.
licensed regulated market. So I'm really just on my Instagram page, like I do a lot of like kind of cool little, like I want to call them sort of like commercials, but I kind of find like things like, for instance, I had like uh,
Wait,
uh
wait, 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 wait. Well, let's save the details for later. All right? Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Jordan.
yeah, yeah. Let's save the details for later. But that was good. So you're in cannabis, and you're looking to help people who come from the traditional space transition to the licensed space. Got it.
Correct.
All right. Let's go with Coach D. Next, if you could unmute your mic and tell us what it is that you are looking for. And if you can, I'll read what you have in the chat.
Sure. Many blessings, everyone. My name is Coach D. Williams. I'm the founder of Get Fit Flock Right, creator of the 533 Breathing Meditation. And what I'm looking for today is a better system for handling marketing tasks. As a business owner, I have a lot of tasks to complete, as well as still going outside and making money. And so for me, it's just finding a better system so I can manage all the tasks. I
Okay.
see that marketing is pretty lofty and something that I have to be consistent with. So just looking for a better system so that way I can remain as consistent as possible.
Okay, for sure. Thank you so much. Lynn, let's take you. What business are you in? How long you been doing it, and what are you looking to get out of tonight?
Yo, yo, what's good? Hey, would you be able to?
All right. Jules, let's take you. Business you're in, how long, and what are you looking to get out of tonight?
The business that I'm in is AI employees for other businesses. And what am I looking to get out of tonight? Everything you have to give. I had no particular expectation as to what the agenda was. I was just wanting to discover what was your expertise, pretty much.
Okay, got it, got it. Did we meet at that networking event recently? Or
Yes, we did. I see that logo. Yes, we did. We were supposed to meet up and talk again.
okay.
That's right. You took a photograph of me and you didn't take off the badge. You hadn't noticed that detail.
Yeah, yes, there we go. There we go, man. Next time take it off before we take the picture.
Well, if you'd have reminded me, you could see what's in the lens.
No, I got you, man. Like glad to have you here though, Jules. Thank you. And
Uh,
then Chelsea, we have you. Tell us what business you're in, how long, and what you're looking to get out of today.
Hello, everyone. My name's Chelsea. I have a executive virtual assistant and operation management agency. I've been in business for 4 years, and I always say I don't know what I don't know, and I always love to learn. I do have support with marketing, but always looking for ways to streamline it, and to be better, to get more leads.
Okay, when you say you have support with marketing, what does that mean for everybody so they could understand?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I have a social media manager who helps me with like my copy, my graphics, and for me to post on different social media platforms.
Okay, got it. So you have some social media marketing support. Got it.
Yeah.
All right, perfect, perfect. Well, guys, thank you for being here tonight. My goal is to make this time that we spend probably the most valuable time that you will spend today doing anything and the most fun learning experience that you can get. So without further ado, anybody else that joins, they are going to join in the middle of what we're going to do, and you guys are going to be here. So what I'm going to cover today are some of the marketing principles that I've been deploying to my customers. And everything that I plan to share tonight is tried, true, and battle tested, meaning that it is ready to go. It is things that we are testing, things that we are learning. And this is the current state of what we find to be working exceptionally well in a 2025 market. Some of the stuff you may have heard it before, but you've never heard it like this, which is why you're here today, because I believe that in any space, there is something that can be learned. And my hope is that if it is even one thing that can push you in one degree towards another successful path, that I would love to facilitate that. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. And here's how we're going to do it. I have a pretty lofty bunch of whiteboard slides here, which I'm going to break down and go through piece by piece. I have the Zoom chat open, so any questions that you guys push to me, I'll keep an eye on it. I'll answer it when I'm going in between one of the concepts that I'm going to be showing you guys, and any questions that you will have that may require a little bit more thought, save it for the end, and I promise you I will answer it to the best of my ability. So without further ado, if you guys are ready to do this, drop a 1 in the chat. Those things get me fired up because I typically do these live in person or with the cameras on. So, I got to feed off of the energy somewhere, somehow. And I see those ones get me excited. So for those of you who may or may not know a little bit about me, my name is Jordi Lakeem Foster, and I have been in the marketing and production space for the last decade. Some of my clients are H&M, Paramount Studios, New York University, the Brooklyn Bar President's Office, the Bronx District Attorney. I've done many projects with City Harvest, many small business owners, many large corporations, many day-to-day people. And what I try to do, and I pride myself is on a day-to-day basis, is taking all of those insights, whether it's corporate, whether it's a client, whether it's a small business, bringing it back to you guys so you guys could take those concepts and skip steps and make profit. So today, what I'm going to show you is no matter what business you're in, this will be helpful. It doesn't matter if you're a coach, doesn't matter if you're in cannabis, doesn't matter if you set up AI employees or if you run a virtual assistant company, executive assistant company. All of the principles here will apply. We've done it in over 20 different industries, and we have yet to find where this stuff doesn't work. So at the top of it, I want to ask you guys a question. Have you audited your marketing system since the beginning of Q2? Yes or no? Put that in the chat for me. Have you audited your meaning, have you taken a look at everything that you do to market yourself on a day-to-day basis and analyzed it to see if it's working or not? Have you done that? And if you haven't, this is going to be critical, because I say to people, hey, look, just like how you get up in the morning and you got to shower, just like how you got to brush your teeth, just like how you got to put on your clothes, go to the gym, eat your food, do all of that stuff, you have to treat your market in the same way. It is an everyday, daily practice. So for those of you who are interested, I have a free marketing assessment. I took it just 2 weeks ago. I scored a 76%. And what it is going to show you is it is going to show you exactly what it is that you need to work on based on 10 different areas of your marketing. And this is an assessment that I use for my clients. It is a free assessment, and it will help you to understand where the gaps are and what you need to work on. And it measures these 3 things, but I will share that with you guys afterwards. So what we're going to cover is 3 main things today: lead capture, lead nurturing, and lead conversion. My business principle is you have to be able to generate leads. If you are not in a position where you are generating leads on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, you're eventually going to run out of cash. And if you run out of cash, if you run out of money, you're not going to be in good business standing. And most problems in business can be fixed if you know how to generate leads, right? So we're going to break down these 3 things. And as one of my coaches always says, before I can get to start talking about these things, we need to come up with a shared definition of them, right? So let's go into lead capture first. Lead capture. Lead capture is the process of collecting somebody's name, number, email in exchange for something that they find valuable. Not what you think is valuable, but what they find is valuable. For example, if you have a client that has bad eating habits and they want to lose weight, but they still want to go out, something that would be useful for them is a healthy eating guide on how to lose weight while eating out, specifically for them, right? That is lead capture. If you need me to clarify that, just let me know in the chat. Lead nurturing. So lead nurturing is like when you're building a relationship, like when you are going out on a date, right? You get the contact information, but it doesn't stop there. You got to date them. You got to send text messages. So this is now where you start to build that relationship. So you're sending them valuable content, not valuable to you, but valuable to them. And you're guiding them towards your offer or the main thing that you sell. That's lead nurturing. So lead capture, get the information. Lead nurturing, build trust. And that leads us into lead conversion. Lead conversion is now where they take action. So when I first started doing sales, me and my mentor, we used to have the sales game that we play, and we'd see who first could get a booking. And he used to laugh at me because I would get off a call with somebody and I would say, yeah, like they're getting ready to book. And he would ask, well, did they send the money yet? And I'm like, no, but the call was really good and everything. Like, yeah, like I feel like they're going to buy. And then he would show me like the Cash App notification or Zelle or whatever platform we're using at the time that they paid. Nothing happens until you see those dollar signs. So until somebody actually pays, they have not converted from a lead to a customer. Okay? Just doesn't happen like that. So they have to do some type of action. And this is when their interest turns into a real result for your business. So those are the three pillars that we're going to be exploring today: lead capture, lead nurturing, and lead conversion. Now, at the crux of this, let's jump into lead capture. So lead capture, in any system that you're going to be looking at, there's typically going to be four ways that you're going to be generating leads. One is going to be through paid ads. If you're running ads, it's going to be through social media content. It's going to be through outreach, or it's going to be through partnerships. Those are the four main ways that you are going to be generating leads. Now, when that happens, most people typically have a system that maybe they're posting some content, but this portion here in the middle right here are these things called lead magnets. Guys, put this in the chat for me. On a scale of 1 to 10, how familiar are you with lead magnets? All right. I'm going to break it down right now. So when you answer that, so these lead magnets are the thing that sits in the middle to help you to capture leads. Now, most people have one lead magnet. So for those of you, all right, so Jules and Chelsea, how many lead magnets do you have? How many lead magnets do you guys have? Right? So you guys answer the 10 that you're very familiar. That's good. How many lead magnets do you have? Because now when people tell me, yeah, Jordi, I know what a lead magnet is, I have one lead magnet, I say, well, okay, 3. Okay, she has 3.
All right. Well, in my case, Jordi, it's not like a giveaway. It's an offer. So they just go to the page that they can opt in for the demo, that sort of thing. So,
oh, okay. So you have 0 lead magnets.
Well, they're opting into a funnel.
Okay, they're opting into a funnel. How many of those do you have?
The main funnel for the main offer right now.
Okay, so one channel. So coach.
No, not one channel, one lead offer. But the channel to get people to it is partnerships.
Okay, so partnerships is your main strategy, and then you send them
and outreach.
Partnership and outreach. Okay, got it. So now, damn lead magnets. Let me just give you guys the simplest format of what a lead magnet is. A lead magnet is a piece of free value that you give to your customer in exchange for solving the problems that they have. And I'll be breaking this down more below, right? So I always recommend to all my clients that you have anywhere from 7 to 10 of these. The reason is you just never really know what lead magnet is going to convert what client. So the lead magnet is doing 3 things, and I'll give you guys this visual here. The lead magnet is designed to help you capture leads. They help you to nurture leads, and they also help you to monetize unqualified or low quality leads. Right? So why is this important? This is important because most of the times when we're building our businesses in the early days, we typically do something like this. So we may have some type of system like this, and I'll just put this above, and there's no lead magnets here. There's no page or anything like that. Maybe you have a newsletter, right? Maybe you have something like that. And then you're taking people from there onto a sales call, right? This is how most people do their business. So most people try to take people off of social media and onto a sales call. That's what most people do. And it just typically doesn't work like that because you need something in the middle to help people. So for example, I'll show you 2 from my world. So I teach lighting to photographers. Sometimes before a photographer really gets to know who I am, I have to give them something free in exchange for that. So I have, in terms of like a free training, I have a free cheat sheet of studio lighting key terms and definitions. that they could download. So this is somebody who knows absolutely nothing about Leiden, and they want to learn the language of Leiden. If you want to look at the program that we're in today, you had to register for this program here today. This is a sort of a lead magnet, right? Because I'm pulling you guys into this whole ecosystem that I have. So if we were to look at this chart, you guys are actually right here, right? Like it's right here. So you guys have either met me in person, you're on my email list, we spoke a little bit, I told you about this, and then you went all the way through here. So maybe it was through social or direct outreach. Then you came through the page, you went to the thank you page, you got a few email workflows, you probably got a text message 5 minutes before this call. And this all happened right before you got on the call, right? So now this whole training that I'm doing is sort of a lead magnet, right? Because I'm taking a problem that you guys have, which is how do I generate more leads? How do I better manage my marketing? How do I build more partnerships? How do I get more people into my ecosystem? And then the lead magnet is designed to be a complete solution. So if you're going to give somebody, and I'll break this down for you guys, right? So your clients are going to have problems, right? So let's do this. Let's do Jules. Let's do you. What are some of the key problems that you are solving for your clients?
Lost calls not being picked up, so that they have lost sales opportunities, which can cost them thousands of dollars, especially if it was something like a roofing job.
All right.
Also,
calls not being picked up. Don't give me the details, Jules. Just give me the problem. All right. So calls not being picked up is one.
The calls not being picked up, and that leads to the problem is lost revenue. That's what it leads to.
Okay.
Next one is being the problem of having to upscale their business and not incur the problem of the expense of hiring somebody can cost $30,000, $40,000 plus taxes and red tape of insurances and everything else when you hire somebody to work in your business. So it avoids all of that. It avoids the red tape. Hiring becomes easy. And also training becomes easy. Adherence to policy becomes easy. Speed to lead becomes easy.
Okay, give me a problem.
The problem is that I'm looking at the benefit rather than the problem.
Yeah.
Because in that case, they aren't aware. Okay, so the problem is that they would like to scale their business, but they would be overwhelmed if they had to do it on their own, and it would cost them way too much money to do it on their own.
Okay, so that's the hiring problem right there. So
hiring. So they want to scale, but they don't want to. Okay, the other problem that I solve is that they don't know how to start. They don't know how to do it. So they are aware that people are using AI in their business, but apart from talking to it and chatting with it, they're not aware of how to implement it as an employee in their business.
Okay. All right. So stop there.
Lack of knowledge. Okay.
Really good. All right, Coach D, let's go to you. What are some problems? Give me 2 to 3 problems that you solve for your customers, and I'll show you why this part is important.
Sure. So one of the main problems that Get Fit Fly Right solves for youth leaders is intervention.
Okay.
Another problem that we solve is management. So
Management of?
be it emotional management, be it
Is it
crisis management? Yes, youth management, youth emotional management, crisis management, classroom management. And another problem that we solve, particularly for sport and youth development spaces is we solve the problem of having the conversation. Most sport-based youth development organizations don't know how to have the mental health conversation. And so we support them in fixing and teaching them how to have that conversation and giving them a system to where those conversations become way more easy and manageable for them.
Okay. All right. All right. That is really good. Thank you so much. I'll do one more. Chelsea, what problems do you solve for your customers?
I give them back their time. I work with entrepreneurs, so they're very busy. They wear multiple hats. And then I also make their business sustainable by providing like SOPs and operation support for the back end of their business.
Okay. So the damn problem that they have. So you tell me what you create, but what problem do they have? Why they need a standard process?
Lack of time, and then the problem is that the problems that they have is that lack of time, and then the business is not sustainable. So if someone else were to come in, they wouldn't like know where to start with that other person.
So their processes are undocumented.
Yeah.
All right. All right. See, so right now I'm forcing you guys to think for your customer instead of what you want to give them, because we know that you give them back their time, but we want to think from their perspective, right? So their systems are undocumented. And give me one more problem. Could be anything.
I guess team management is another problem. So yeah, it's like hard for them to manage their team.
Why?
They're too busy focusing on doing the outreach, getting the partnerships, or actually doing the client work.
Okay. All right. Now, great. So now these problems, have you guys ever heard this saying like as above, so below? Or, like if it got to go up, it must come down, or what goes around comes around, right? I like to apply this framework to problems as well. So you know how in Super Mario, when Mario is jumping around and hitting the blocks, and every time he hits the blocks, he gets some more coins. Sometimes he gets some mushrooms, right? These problems, if you were to flip these problems around, these become your lead magnets. So now this becomes, for example, let's start with this. So you can turn any problem into a solution by putting the word how to in front of it. So now I feel like this is going to be good for somebody. So now for Jules, another set of trainings would probably be how to pick up calls without having to be by your phone 24/7. Another one would be how to scale your team without incurring the overhead of hiring day-to-day employees. Another guide would be how to take your first 5 steps in AI for old people. And now what you've done is you've expanded your lead generation ecosystem. So now you have your product demo, but now you have all these guides simply by gathering these problems. Next one. So for you, Coach D, let's go to you, right? So problem here is youth intervention, right? So let me skip that one because we didn't flesh that out properly, but let's do this one, right? Youth emotional and crisis and classroom management. How to start the conversation in the classroom for youth in emotional crises. That's a guide. How to manage your classroom by using phrases that are at the level of the youth in your organization. That's another guide. Another guide is, so now we went from youth management. Now let's go to the organization. If we're speaking to the organization, first I would want to figure out, well, who's the key decision maker around a process like this? I'd kind of figure out what their challenges are as it relates to this problem. So this one is a little bit too broad, but if I were targeting the organization as a whole, I would probably say, hey, this guide will show you how to bridge the gap between the youth in your organization and staff. And we've done this for 500 people already. Same thing for you, Chelsea, right? How to document your systems so you can train and manage your team without standing over their shoulders. Like, you guys remember when we used to get hired at a job and then there's a manager who is kind of busy, but they took some time to train you, and then they're just looking over your shoulder for like 2-3 hours out of the day while they try to teach you how to do the job. And then they do that for like a week before they go back, and then that's how they trained you, right? That would be a story that I possibly tell in the guide of how to train your team while you're busy getting clients, right? Next one is how to, right? So all I'm doing, and how to is like the most basic version of this, but this is how you take problems and you turn them into lead capturing system, lead capturing tools. Does that make sense so far, guys? Because I'm
Very good. Yeah.
right. Cool, right? So now you could do this to infinity. So now what I could do, so what I do in my business, I help my clients build automated systems, right? So it's like very similar to what Jules does. He focuses on the AI employees. I focus more on like the general marketing infrastructure. So here are some of the problems that my clients have. And I pull these from a lot of the sales calls that I have on a day-to-day basis. So they have manual follow-up fatigue, right? They're just tired of doing it, right? They are too busy running the business and they're getting stuck doing admin work. I have one client who is turning 100 years old this year, and they've been doing word of mouth. So when we set up a CRM dashboard for them, it was like, wow, now they could see how many real estate deals that they have. Next, they have inconsistent lead nurturing, right? So they're not sending emails, they're not sending follow-ups. Sometimes they're not clear about what it is that they sell or their booking workflow, right? Like they have a simple calendar link, but the next steps is unclear. A lot of the times they waste time on repetitive tasks, invoices, welcome emails, confirmations. They're manually organizing leads. Sometimes my clients have too many technology tools and they don't know how to integrate them all and they're overwhelmed. Sometimes they just have an inconsistent onboarding experience. The list goes on and on and on. Let me show you guys a quick way how you can figure out the problems. So we have this tool here called ChatGPT. You guys may or may not have heard about it. And I'm going to say something like this. I want you to act as a marketing specialist and identify the top 10 problems that organizations, well, let me say sports organizations that work with youth face. Coach D, help me clean this up, please. This one is for you.
I would say I want to act as a marketing specialist and identify the top 10 problems that youth sports organizations face today. So I would put, youth sports organizations face today.
In context of dealing with the kids, right?
Mm-hmm. So any youth sport organization is an organization that particularly uses sport as a way to develop youth.
Mm-hmm.
They're also known as SBYDs.
Yeah. And bettering and I'll say, and giving staff tools to work with their kids. And I'm going to say, don't explain, because we don't need the explanations right now. We just need it to give so you see, like, kind of similar to what we generated, and ChatGPT compared to 3 years ago is so great. Now it's going to pull so much valuable information. So lack of consistent behavioral management strategies across staff, inadequate training for coaches, low parent engagement. All of these are free masterclass level guides that you need to give out, right? So I don't have the time to show you guys how to do this, but it has to be like, I'll show you an example. I have a guide on my website that shows you how to create a lead magnet. And this guide is so good that you could pay for it. I could sell it. So I not only tell you how to create a lead magnet, I introduce the topic, I define what it is, why you need to have it, why you need to have many lead magnets. I walk through the very same process that I'm doing right here. See, so I list all their problems here. And then this is 61 pages of how to create it. And then how to set up your lead magnet. I'm giving every single step in how to do it. And then I'm telling you, here are some ways to solve it. So we just went through this exercise right now, right? How to set it up in ads, how to put it in your newsletter, and then how to schedule your posts on social media to promote your lead magnet. So it's everything that you could know about lead magnets. So your lead magnet now, to go back to this, it has to be so good that you'd be willing to pay $50 for it. That's how good it has to be. Like it has to. So that means it's going to take some time. So this is not like the 5-page PDF that you generate through ChatGPT and then you give to somebody because you just want to say that you did it. But in order to stand out, what we've been realizing is the trainings that you provide has to be so good that people are like, okay, yeah, this is something that we want. So after you work through that, you turn those problems into solutions with the how-to. And when you do that, now you want to get those set up on a landing page. So you guys may have went to this landing page and this gave you some context as to what we're going to talk about today. And then you had to put in your name, number, email address, and that is what you want to do. So that is the whole lead capture stage, right? Any questions on lead capture before we move on to lead nurturing? Any questions on the lead capture portion? I hope that explanation was pretty good for you guys. Any questions? All right, so we're good. Let's keep going. So next part, after you've captured the leads, the second thing that we do in this whole process now is that you, within about the 20 minutes that you've captured a lead, you typically have about 20 minutes to expose them as much as possible to your philosophy and ecosystem before they drop off. Many people don't take this time and send out enough emails, enough communication as possible. And they fail to realize that most people are leading busy lives. So if somebody signs up for your Facebook ad, if they sign up for a lead magnet or training and they don't get it right away, chances are their mom is going to call them, a friend is going to hit them up, they're going to get busy, and then they're going to forget about you. So you have about 20 minutes to an hour, I would give or take. An hour is probably too long because if this person doesn't know you and they're coming in from an ad, they're going to forget. Like I've run many Facebook ad campaigns and I've called leads the following day and they've forgotten who the hell I was. So you want to get them as quickly as possible. So the first email is going to be a lead magnet delivery email, right? So this email is going to go out first. It's going to deliver it. Then after that, one of the things I always talk about is the top 4 things that will kill your business. So that's the second email that I send out. Next email, why will these things kill your business, right? So this is the delivery email. Then we have the problem solution email. So in my case, it's, and I'll give an example for you guys, that would probably be, all right, so they get the lead magnet. And let's say we're focused on calls not being picked up. First email would be, all right, boom, here you get it, great. Second email, why is not why are you not picking up calls a problem for your organization? You're losing revenue, you're missing opportunity, you're being busy and not capturing the opportunity. I'll talk about that in my emails. Third email. Sorry about that, guys. Third email. I'm going to give them a story, a client transformation, something good that I did for somebody. And then fourth one, you're going to invite them to an offer that could be better out than in. I agree with that, right? So you want to invite them to a consultation. You want to have some other product, some testimonial, some case study that they could get. And these things are all happening within that hour span of time, right? So here for this particular sequence, we have the delivery email right here, 4 things that are going to kill your business, why they will kill your business, and then how to solve them. And after that, we teleport them to another automated workflow if necessary. But this is all happening automatically. Now, there are more ways to nurture leads, and I'll come back over here to that, which is so key. So there's a concept here called free products, or as Daniel Priestley, who I consider one of my coaches, talks about all the time. And you want to have something that he called products for prospects. That's another way to think about this, right? Products for prospects. So a prospect is somebody who may potentially become a lead. So they're not really a lead yet. A prospect is somebody who is in your general target market, but they haven't raised their hand and given you their contact information yet. A lead is somebody that's giving you the contact information. So they're 2 very different things. So products for prospects are going to be tools that you give to these prospects, and it should eventually lead to your product. So one of my core products that I sell is a marketing funnel setup for my clients, which means that everything I do is related to that product. So in my free product ecosystem, or products for prospects, I have a free marketing audit that in 5 minutes, it's going to let you know the exact status of your marketing and what you need to work on. I have live masterclasses that I do. I teach these in offices. I teach these on Zoom. I teach them all over the city. 3, free downloadable trainings on my website. That's another tool that I have where people can enter into my ecosystem. And I think I should have it here, right? This is a page on my website. So learn with me for free. Picture of me. Again, more social proof. I'm showing my clients. And then this is the training that I just showed you guys, how to build an email list in less than 30 days. And then I have another free training, how to plan a profitable campaign launch, for free as well too. This is the whole playbook that I use when I'm launching campaigns for clients, and it's free on my website right now. So you can take me up on that and try it out. There's also social media content. Most of us in here probably do some version of this. And then YouTube trainings, but the YouTube trainings are connected to those lead magnets. So these are some of the free tools that I'm using to get my clients into my ecosystem. So these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things here. So these are 5 out of the 7 lead magnets, right? And there's plenty more, of course, but these are things that are going to get people to the next level, build trust. And I do this every day because there are many people that I DM and they say, well, Jordi, I have a question about this. And the first thing I do is I talk to them for a little bit and I share those YouTube trainings, share those master classes, etc. I would say the difference with a YouTube training and a masterclass is really just the wording and the phrasing. I think training, so like this masterclass here, it's covering like a whole bunch of topics, right? But the trainings in my definition would be more specific. So in one of my trainings, I would just focus on lead capture and do everything related to lead capture. In a second training, I would do everything about lead nurturing. But the masterclass is really to give the general principles and the framework. So it's giving you pretty much everything you can eat buffet style until you get full, right? So that's lead nurturing. So lead capture, get their name, number, email. Lead nurturing, get them to build trust. Now, some of the things that you will want in your ecosystem are these free products. So I have this creative services card, which we're about to roll these out to our clients. I just made this up this week, and we're going to be rolling these out to some of our past clients so that we can get them active again for some stuff, right? So this is free tool. We also have case studies, right? So this is one of my clients, an actor from the CBS's Young Sheldon. And this case study shows how we helped them gain 15,000 followers in 30 days. We have coverage here from H&M on the website. We have an automated system that we created for a real estate client to help them. Pardon me? I'm like, give me 1 second. I'm about to close this part out. Right. So now this next case study here, like these are all on the website. And now these are things that I can send to clients at will to nurture them. So your free products, your case studies, your testimonials, all of these things help you to nurture your leads, helps them to build more trust, and it ultimately helps them to eventually buy. Question.
You must enjoy your job being a photographer, going out and about and being at these events and recording them.
Mm-hmm. Well, what was the question?
It wasn't really a question. Well, it was, yes, it was a, do you confirm that? Do you believe that's true?
Oh yeah, I think I have the best job in the world.
And being a photographer gets you a sort of behind the scenes pass to poke your nose around anywhere kind of thing, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It definitely does, because I think at this stage for me, it's a really good relationship building tool, you know?
Yes, I can see that from these photographs. I mean, you have opportunity to get someone's attention, pass on your card, to find out about them, to do it in person. They're open, they're smiling, they're happy, they're the most receptive. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Coach D, what's your question?
Thank you so much. So you mentioned free products, case study, and you mentioned one more thing, and I wanted to write that down.
Yes.
You had just mentioned it about 2 minutes ago.
Yeah. So the free products, the case studies, testimonials as
Testimonials.
well.
Thank you.
Yeah, like testimonials, any type of client win, right? And the thing that I would recommend for you guys is websites as well too, is plaster these all over your website. So for example, on my website here, I have a page of just reviews that is just an infinite scroll of pictures that I've done over the years, screenshots from emails, WhatsApp conversations, text message conversations. You want to put those things here as well too. Success stories. If anybody here has had somebody pay them and you've delivered on what you said you were going to give to the person, you have a success story, right? So you can literally turn anything into a success story. I don't have the time to show, but Google how to write a case study and it will dramatically change your approach, because you could convert anything that you do into a case study. So I had a panel that I spoke on at Chase Bank. I wrote about it. I have a branding project that I did for a client. I wrote about it, right? Like me and my team, we designed the logo, we did the branding, we did the color palette, we wrote about it, right? I did event coverage for the for the Belafonte Foundation. We wrote about it. Anything that you guys do, it is something that you can write about. And then that ultimately leads us to part number 3 here, which now that we've dealt with the lead capture part, we've dealt with the lead nurturing part, which is here in the middle for the thank you page, the emails, and the workflows. Now it's like, well, how do you get somebody to pay? The first thing in getting somebody to pay is that you have to be very clear about what it is that you're selling. So maybe your clients don't really understand what youth intervention services are. Maybe your client doesn't understand what an executive assistant does. Maybe your clients don't really understand what an AI employee is. And what I've found is because we're so into what we do, we kind of forget that our clients aren't really into it like that, and they're just looking for the results. So the very, very first thing is just getting clear. So the client is going to ask these questions. Well, what am I buying? Or what am I booking? Or what am I snorting? Or what am I joining? Or what am I consuming? Right? They're going to ask these questions. And your sequence of events has to be so clear that when they look at your product or your service, they're like, this is exactly what I need. So what I found is most of my clients, even when they're high-level executives, unless they're really into this stuff, they don't really know what a marketing funnel is, or they have an idea of what a marketing funnel is. So when I'm speaking to them, I don't even use the term marketing funnel, but this is generally across your entire marketing ecosystem. So when I speak to them, I don't even say, hey, I could set up an automated system for you to do X, Y, Z. No, I say, hey, look, if you find yourself trapped in the day-to-day of doing administrative tasks and you're tired of doing that, I actually have a secret that could help you to solve it. Now, I wouldn't say it exactly like that, but I would say it's something to that effect, because anybody can understand being trapped in doing administrative work, which is why we have Chelsea over here, right? Right? Chelsea is going to help us with that, right? But it has to be so clear that when they look at it, they're like, okay, I think I'll join this. I think I'll sign up. Now, when they get to this point, what you want to really happen, and I just wrote some notes down here for us. What's the next step? So, for example, when it's time for somebody to buy, are you letting them know, hey, now that we've discussed everything and you're ready to buy and they know the price, are you telling them how to buy? Are you telling them how to sign up? Are you telling them how to pay? So, for example, when you're doing like a standard sales call, you want to tell your clients, hey, most of our clients typically pay with debit, credit, check, ACH, Discover, whatever, right? You tell them how to do it. You want to have a clear call to action on your thank you page. So when you guys got to my thank you page, when you registered for this event, I have a free marketing assessment link, right? So that same free marketing assessment is right there. I also have a link to my YouTube channel. And then just look at the language, right? The language is very, very, very specific. Is your marketing working for or against you? And as you can see here, I have a very critical mistake that I made, right? I didn't fix that. So let's ignore that, right? Looking for free marketing resources or need a sounding board for your business idea, right? This language, because most people, when they talk to me about branding, they just need clarity on what their idea is, right? So the next steps has to be very clear. Notice I didn't say, hey, take a free marketing assessment to score your business in 10 areas. It's like, well, is it working for or against you? Anybody could understand that, right? So the language has to be so simple, which means that you have to be clear about what it is that you're doing. So if you've done all of these steps, if you have set up a framework where you can clearly identify what problems your clients have, you take the time to develop solutions in the form of lead magnets, which are going to be checklists, they're going to be trainings on YouTube, they're going to be guides, they're going to be like one pagers that they could implement, or books or courses or programs, right? Those things, if you do that and you begin capturing leads and people are flowing through your system and it's all exciting and everything, and then the minute that they come into your system, they start to get these emails so that they could learn about you, your process, and who you've done it for. If you've done all of that, by the time somebody gets to you and they're ready to buy, they'll typically start the conversation like, oh yeah, I remember I saw you on, oh yeah, I saw this in your email, or I saw this on your Instagram, or I remember you spoke about this. And if somebody starts a sales call with you like that, you've almost gotten the sale before you started. And this has been the case for a lot of my clients in recent months, where they've either saved a lot of time, saved a lot of headache, or people have come into the sales call knowing who they are, or just having confidence that they know how to do the job. So this is the whole ecosystem of how to convert strangers into brand new clients. And I'll open up the floor for any questions that you guys have on anything in the system. And while you guys are getting your things ready, just remember that funnels are not magic, right? Funnels are not magic. Just get it done, launch it, and test it, and you can improve as you go. And I see a lot of people trying to get this perfect straight out the gate, but trust me, they're never perfect. You just have to get them out to the market. So the first question that rolled in is, what systems would you recommend to automate this process? So my personal favorite is Go High Level. That's the one that I set up for you, Coach D, for the book funnel. So that is my go-to one. I have also used Zoho. I have used Active Campaign. That's a really good one as well too. Kit, ConvertKit is another popular one as well too. But all of them pretty much work the same, and it just comes down to preference. But I like Go High Level because of everything that they have in it. So it's my go-to recommendation. All right. Any other questions or like thoughts or feedback from anybody else on this?
Well, I'll share if no one else wants to. I mean, I really appreciate the breakdown. I think for me, I'm already doing a lot of this stuff. I just now recognize I'm doing it out of order.
Okay.
If that makes sense. But
Yeah.
then also off because I do have a lot of conversations that I'm having, and so because I've built a reputation where I am I'm a very unique I'm in a very unique position because most of my background is in nonprofit. And
Yeah.
so a lot of nonprofits already come to me. A lot of schools already come to me. But I think my issue has been there's nowhere for them to go. So they come to me, they ask me, I tell them, and then that's that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I think for me, what was really supportive was number two, lead nurturing. Because
Okay.
the leads I get, lead capturing, I get just off my reputation, in all honesty.
Okay.
Because there's no one else in the space who has 17 years experience of coaching, as well as over 15 years experience working in nonprofits and schools. So when it comes to mental health, mental hygiene, um, my word is trusted. But then it's the nurturing part that I'm not doing. I'm just sending them to my one course, but I'm not, I guess, offering more value
Yeah.
to them. So that list, that how because I had actually been approached with that before, and then you and I have had conversations where I was working on that. And so that list was really helpful in terms of like how to even leverage AI, because a lot of what you showed in that list I have in old posts.
Hmm.
So just saying, yeah, thanks. I think for me, one, will we be able to get a recording of this?
Yeah.
And then two, I'll definitely be working with AI to leverage my own language into those topics.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think what's going to be key, I think a lot of people get some lead capture and then they get some conversions, but now the real opportunity is in the lead nurturing and the follow up. Like I have a guy that I've been following up with for like 2 years now, and every now and again, I either get some referrals out of him, I get like we go have lunch or dinner, but now my follow-ups don't have to be me asking him for money all the time. Now my follow-ups are like, hey, this is what we did for this client. Check it out. Like I have a client in Miami right now. They have a real estate team of like 250 agents. And I met them through another one of these that I did. And I've been following up with this person for like the last month and a half. And I followed up with them 5 times. And then the sixth time, when I sent them a case study of a recent marketing system that I developed, they're like, oh, hey, Jordi, yeah, things just got pretty busy and we're preparing for this conference right now, but I'll get back to you after. And I'm like, sure. But I'm keeping them in the loop without just saying, hey, just checking in. But what I do is I send the free value, right? The free value. Hey, I'm still working on other clients. P.S. When you're ready, I'm here. So that's a part that I notice a lot of people do get caught up with for sure. So thank you for that feedback, Coach D. It's really good. Really good.
I have a question.
Yes.
So with that, would you say like your follow-up for like the lead nurturing, is it like a different email for people who were like potential clients versus people who you just, met and um I guess everyone would potentially be a potential client. But like, like is there a different email that's usually sent based off of, how you met them or the interaction, like the follow-up? Is it different? I guess with someone if you got on a discovery call with someone versus someone who you never got on a discovery call with yet.
Do you speak to your mother and your best friend the same way?
That's a good question. No.
Okay. So that's the answer, right?
Okay. Okay.
Everything has to be in context, right? So the same email. So I'm not gonna put on a suit and hit the club, right? Like it just like maybe depending on the environment, but if we're just speaking about blending in, I'm not gonna like bring my wands to church and throw it when pastor drops the amen, right? It's just two different situations. So everything here is in context. So the person that has made it to a discovery call, they're going to get a different level of follow-up. But the thing is some of those follow-ups may not be 100% automated, but they may be templatized to
Okay.
speed up some of the process, because you want to like everything is the same. Like we're helping people make more money, save more time, build better relationship with their staff and the youth and the communities that they serve. But everybody's situation is so slightly different, where if you were to send the same thing to everybody, it just wouldn't hit the same. So for that part, they're gonna get the same type of message, Chelsea, but it's gonna be directly related to something that they said on the call or in the interaction or from a social media post and so on. Like I can't post this video on Instagram, right? Because it's like this is too much. Instagram is a fast-paced world. But on YouTube, something like this, like I literally had a guy from Texas makes $250,000 a year. He was a photographer and he was looking for coaching. He downloaded my lead magnet, watched the whole thing, booked the call, got on the call with me. He was like, Jordi, I saw your video. I make $250,000 a year, but I'm stuck because I am doing so much of the manual work in my business, and I'm scared of making less than $250,000 right now with my lifestyle. I was like, oh, wow, that's so fascinating. But this stuff is so universal because all of us in some aspects are like feeling that, you know? So it's good. Like Coach Lee, I'll read and respond to your question shortly. Jiggy or Jules, any questions or feedback?
Well, I don't have any questions at the moment. The feedback is that there are alternative ways to get the same outcome or get a similar outcome, which is to get sales at the end of the funnel. And I am aware, or I really do like the fact that you brought up using problems as a sort of lead magnet to widen the funnel and awareness about what one can do. I really wasn't thinking about that, primarily because the way that I intend to get clients is through email, and it's not my outreach, but my partner's outreach.
Okay.
So it bypasses everything because I'm getting sort of quasi endorsed by my partners to come to my event. So from that point of view, I'm getting a lot of, or would be getting a lot of the views on my landing page without me having to do any of the things that you talked about in terms of at the beginning.
Your bag is always wet.
Sorry, let me mute her, Jules. Yeah.
So from that point of view, I'm not really looking to do many of those things. And then the other thing that when I say partnerships is really good is you could do what Pepsi and Coca-Cola do, which is they put in the freezers, the coolers into delicatessens, into
Yeah.
shops, and then they stock it with their product. So they're getting free display space, they're getting all that kind of stuff, they get a free outlet. So with a partnership, you get not only implied credibility and a sense of a referral, but you get access to their customers. So
Exactly. Yeah.
instead of getting access to the front of the funnel, you're getting access to the people who bought from your partners. And that's a much better person to be on my list, someone who's actually pulled out some money and bought something, than somebody who is at the front who right now is a suspect, who could be a prospect, who then becomes a lead, who then
Yeah.
becomes a client. I just got some
Yeah.
people who already I know that just bought something related to what I offer. They paid money, and here's my bonus add-on. Come and get it. And now you're directly in my funnel, and it's my offer. So I think that's a different approach I would use definitely.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
From the
of
point of view,
course.
and also, I like low cost. And if you notice, the outreach that I do and partnerships is low cost, whereas advertising, even though I have advertising services, um, I find that I like cherry picking. So
Mm-hmm.
and scraping industries and
Yeah.
people and then analyzing what their needs are. That can be done at scale, and it's really good from the point of view of I'm not at the mercy of other companies, Google, Facebook, all those companies who
Yeah.
or to spend money on. And
Yeah.
the way that I do it with partnerships, I get hundreds of thousands of views on my landing page for free.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah. And like to highlight what like Jules is leveraging here, everybody, he's leveraging the partnership perspective on the rung here, right? So we didn't really speak too much about how each of these methods work, but Jules is focusing on partnerships. So the partnerships, I'll just highlight this for everybody because I think this would be a good moment here, is that for your partnerships, you can have many different types of partners. You can have joint venture partnerships, you could have media partnerships, you could have referral partnerships, and you could have white label partnerships. Those are like the catch-all terms for like the different partnerships. And what Jules is saying is, instead of him running out to create content, this is a different board, but instead of him running out to create content or do paid ads or do any like extensive like amounts of cold calling, he's leveraging partnerships. And this is a strategy that I highly recommend, because Jules, in fact, and I met through a partnership that I do where I sponsor headshots at an event. And like he was alluding to earlier, I get to be in front of somebody, have a good moment in front of them. I give them a nice picture. So they already bought into me in some ways. And then it's an easy sell from there, you know? So definitely. And Coach D, I'll just read what you had right here and then we'll close it out. But Jules, thank you for the feedback. And I hope everybody really heard that part about like really leveraging good partnerships, because if you don't have a big advertising budget, if creating content isn't something that you have time or money to do, leveraging partnerships is always a great way to go. So, Coach D,
just to put some numbers on that, just to give you an example. If, for example, I was to get 600,000 people to, or quarter of a million people to look at my offer 3 times, that's 700,000 impressions, direct impressions from an endorsed third party. And if I was to do that paying Facebook or Instagram or anybody else, even at $1 per opt-in, it would be thousands of dollars in terms of advertising expense. Whereas all it takes is an agreement with somebody who has the attention and the audience and influence over the audience you want to reach. And it's very inexpensive to get somebody to agree to do something for you, especially if you make it in their own benefit to do so. So just as a principle, guys, if you got no money or very little money and you want to scale, you want to do it quickly, a lot of money, and you don't want to spend any money.
Yeah.
Leverage influence of other people and just come to an agreement. That's
exactly.
It's instant distribution.
Yeah, exactly, man. And Coach D agrees with that too. And then I'll answer this last question and then we'll close out for tonight. Coach D, the best thing I would say for templates is to write down all the steps that you take the minute that somebody becomes a lead, all the way to them opening their bank account and giving you money. Write down all those steps, and then those steps you make templates for those. That's the best way I could say to generate templates. So just literally write down everything that you do. So I meet somebody at an event, and then I send them a follow-up email, send a follow-up text, check in on them the next day, try to get them on a call. What happens leading up to the call? What happens in the call? What happens after the call? Look at how long on average it takes somebody to turn into a client for you. So just literally write all of it down, step by step, and then you'll be able to be good with that. All right. So guys, it is 8:15 p.m. and thank you guys for being here tonight. I'm glad that this was helpful for you guys or gave you a different way to think about your ecosystems. It really seems like the nurturing part here was really the thing that resonated with everybody, and also taking the problems and solutions to expand your funnels or expand your lead generating activity. That is one of the things I'm really big on. So absolutely, absolutely, man. Absolutely. So guys, thank you for hanging out with us here tonight, and make sure you go cheer for the Knicks. All right. Because Q1 is up right now and the Pacers are up. So, they need us. They need us, guys. So have a good one, everybody.
Good night, Jordi. Good night, everybody else.
All right.